Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Joe Campagna Field at Warren Playground in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity baseball contest between the visiting Wildcats of Weymouth High School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Starting a little bit last minute here. I was running a little late. I'm sorry about that, folks. But we are not missing a beat here as we get ready to start the top of the first inning. Warming up on the mound for Brookline is Nikolai Rabiner, number 17. Of course, he is hot off of a 13-strikeout no-hitter last Monday on Patriots Day against the Wolfpack of the Boston Latin School. He's made 4 total starts this year, a win-loss record of 1-3, pitched 21 total innings, a 3.00 ERA, a 1.57 whip, and 26 strikeouts. I know we're rushing into this a little bit, but I also want to make sure I introduce you to my color commentator for today, as I'm not going to be alone on this broadcast. Joining me here as my color commentator, you know him, you love him, Brookline High sophomore Sam Lowenstein. Sam, thank you for joining me.
Well, Jesse, Nico Rabiner here on the bump. Brookline, that win against BLA, 8-0, a dominant win. It's been BLS, excuse me. BLS.
Yeah, I know. There's 2 Boston Latins, and it's like, which one's which?
Exactly. Thought it said BLA, but BLS. And Brookline had that big win, coming in 3-7, the Warriors, going up against Weymouth, who's 4-6. So should be an awfully good game, Jesse. Should be awfully interesting. Weymouth won their last game against Bridgewater Raynham Regional High School 7-1, so they're coming off a big win themselves.
And, of course, last year when these two teams faced off, it was quite the thrilling contest. They played in Weymouth last year on April 28th of 2025. Weymouth storming out to a 4-0 lead in the first inning against Rabiner himself. But then Rabiner held down the fort as Brookline fought their way to a comeback 6-5 win in that one. So we'll see what we have in store in this matchup here today. First pitch of the ball game is going to come in high for ball 1. Leading off for Weymouth is their right fielder, number 5, last name Browning. We didn't get first names today, as this one is going to be fouled down the right field side and drop a few feet away from us.
Well, that's a very far, long strike there. Kind of got up into the trees a little bit. Inside pitch strong from Rabiner as he comes off the bump for a second.
Yep. As I was saying, we only got last names on our lineup card for this year's game. There are a few players that I have first names for just from last year, but some of them I only have last names, and Browning is one of them as he takes a low ball 1. So I don't have any stats from last year to give you for Browning, but we'll have some that we can fill in here and there as the game goes on. That one going to miss as well, 3-1.
Well, Rabiner going to these low pitches, went to the low and away curveball to pitch before. This time elects to go to the low fastball.
And that fastball low and in. And Browning is going to start us off with a leadoff walk.
Well, on those previous 2 pitches, Rabiner was trying to go low and away. That time he goes low and in. He's just struggling to find the corner there, trying to locate these low pitches.
Now batting for Weymouth, the designated hitter, number 32, Hickson. Rabiner turning around, giving a quick look at first. And, you know, Sam, part of what's interesting when you get those tight misses there, part of it is you're finding out what kind of strike zone the ump is giving you. As that one's going to miss and pop out of the glove of the catcher, Felix Hom, and Browning is going to take second base on what I would score as a passed ball.
That definitely looked like a passed ball to me. Another inside pitch there from Rabiner, this time a middle height inside fastball, and it just came out. It's a simple passed ball, nothing overly complicated about the pitch.
Hom, usually a very reliable backstop player for Brookline. He's thrown a number of players out on the base pads, made a number of nice blocks to prevent wild pitches, but, you know, everyone's going to make mistakes sometimes, and that time it pops out of his glove. That's going to be a high ball 2 from Rabiner. We can see the infield pulled a little bit to the left to accommodate the lefty hitter Hickson at the plate. Swing and a miss there for strike 1.
Well, just a really solid pitch there, Rabiner. Going back to the strike zone, he's able to locate it a little bit inside, pretty much middle height, and he's coming off that big no-hitter where he struck out 13 in his last pitching appearance.
That one hits the zone as well for strike 2. And yeah, those 13 strikeouts against Boston Latin School last Monday tied for the total number of strikeouts he had in his previous 3 appearances up to that point. And that he's got his first K of this one now, as that one is tipped into the glove by Hickson. And nice kind of rebound for Hom to get his glove around that one and complete the strikeout.
Definitely. And another pitch inside there, this time a breaking ball. Rabiner really likes to use that breaking ball effectively to get whiffs after backing it up after his fastball.
And that one, I think, was called a strike, so even though it dipped kind of low, it crossed in the strike zone. Strike 1 to the second baseman, number 1, Barr.
Rabiner able to get so much up and down movement on that breaking ball.
And we saw it again as he went middle to low on that first one. This time he goes high to middle and drops it in the zone for strike 2.
And it'll be interesting, Jesse, to see what kind of strike zone we see in this game, because saw an awfully interesting strike zone in the last one.
That one going to miss to the outside, 1 and 2. Yeah, so far it looks like the ump may be a little bit generous on high and low, but a little bit tighter on inside and out. Granted, our side view gives us a limited perspective on what we can judge, but still. This one lined, and that's going to drop into right field. Might be a potential play at the plate. Runners being sent around. They throw to the infield, and no chance there. It's going to be an RBI single for Barr, and Weymouth is on the board first.
Just not much that Rabiner could do about it. Got the 0-2 count, tried to go with the breaking ball down low in the zone. Definitely looked like a strike there coming out of his hand, and just a solid hitting job there by Browning. Stayed with it, didn't try to do too much, and just drove it out beyond the second baseman.
1-0. The Wildcats lead the Warriors here. Now batting the catcher, number 7, Devin Kelsch, and we've got a wild pitch as that one gets past Hom, and Barr freely takes second base.
And Jesse, it will be so important for Rabiner not to get rattled at this point in the game. Still very early, had the pass ball, that wild pitch, things not going particularly smoothly in this one, but he can definitely still get things under control.
1 out, a runner now at second, and this one is going to be sliced up in the air towards the right field side and out of play. That'll be another one of those long strikes, as you like to call them, Sam, for strike 1.
Definitely. Feels like that's become a new phrase here
I like
on this
it.
channel, the long strike.
I like it. It's got charm. 1-1, the count to Kelsch, one of the few players on Weymouth's roster that I recognize from last year's game. As he lifts this one into center field, Wally Lawrence under it, has the catch. Runner's going to tag and head for third. A bit of a low bouncing cutoff throw there, and Barr takes advantage to move to third with 2 down.
And that one well hit by Kelch. Didn't do anything wrong, but sometimes, Jesse, when you drive it straight to center field, interestingly enough, even if that's what you're supposed to do, sometimes the result itself isn't all that great.
Now batting the center fielder, number 20, Will Pratt. High ball 1 to Pratt. Pratt in last year's game against Brookline, he went 1 for 3 at the plate with a walk, a stolen base, a run scored, and an RBI. Fouls that one off for strike 1.
Rabiner, they're down and away fastball. It seems that he's just trying to hit the low and outside corner quite a bit. He's had some control issues, but at least on that pitch, he's able to command it to get the foul ball.
That one curves in for strike 2.
One thing with Rabiner is he has great command on that breaking ball. Even if the fastball isn't hitting every time, that breaking ball is so reliable for him.
And there's a reliable pitch from Rabiner as he picks up his second K of the inning to finish the job there. But Weymouth is on the board first. And now the question is, can Brookline answer in the bottom half? Going to the bottom of the first, the score, Weymouth 1, Brookline 0.
Oh, definitely, Jesse. Should be an awfully interesting first inning there. Rabiner able to weather the storm, and that's what is a testament of a great pitcher. If things aren't going well, can you limit the damage? And he's able to do that.
All right, really quick, let's go through the lineups of the two teams. Didn't get a chance to do that earlier. For Weymouth, we saw their first five in their batting order. Right fielder number 5, Browning. The designated hitter number 32, Hickson. Second baseman number 1, Barr. The catcher number 7, Devin Kelsch. The center fielder number 20, Will Pratt. And now the rest of the lineup. At third base, number 8, Ryan Ferguson. At first base, number 11, Ryan Gildea. At shortstop, number 2, Adrian Alvarez. And in left field, number 16, Abbott. And starting on the mound for Weymouth today, number 44, Mills. For Brookline, we saw the starting hurler, number 17, Nikolai Rabiner. In the batting order for Brookline, leading off, the left fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. Batting second, the catcher, number 13, Felix Hom. Batting third and playing third, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. Batting cleanup, the shortstop, number 5, Jimmy DiPaolo. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gameau. Batting sixth, the center fielder, number 24, Wally Lawrence. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 12, Harris Hodgson. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 30, Danny Carballo. And batting ninth, the right fielder, number 8, Max Kaufman. Head coach of the Brookline High baseball team is Brendan O'Connor, with assistant coaches Colin King, Ryan Nealon, and Will McKay. So it'll be Fitzgerald, Hom, and Bollinger starting us off here in the bottom of the first.
Well, Jesse, here in this game, the thing for Brookline, the big important question for them, looking at the runs per game that the Warriors have had. They had 5 runs per game in the last 4 games. In the 1-5 stretch, before that, only 3.66. So it'll be important for them to get a lot of runs across, and especially here in this first inning, getting off to a good start.
Yeah, we saw the Brookline offense go a little cold at Newton South last Friday as they suffered a 2-1 loss to the Lions. I think they're signaling for one of the batters on deck to stay behind the fence or something like that. But now we're set to go. Leading off for Brookline, the left fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. First pitch, going to catch the outside corner. First strike 1. You can see Fitzgerald's season stats in the bottom center of your screen. So far this season, Fitzgerald, a batting average of 200, tied for the team lead, as you can see the 2 asterisks, tied for the team lead in on-base percentage at 385, a slugging of 300, has solo ownership of the team lead in walks with 8 as he skies one out to left fielder, backtracking, and he's under it, and he dropped it! He dropped it! It popped out of his glove, and Fitzgerald's going to go down to second, taking advantage of the E7.
Wow, Jesse, that is something else. Looked like he was having trouble with it, and the sun went back and forth and then popped into his arms, but he couldn't get his glove on it. Uncanny play here in the first.
Tough break for Weymouth, but a lucky break for Brookline, as they now have a runner in scoring position right off the bat. And now at the dish, the catcher and co-captain, number 13, Felix Hom. First pitch going to be high for ball 1. Hom so far this season, batting average 235, on base 278, slugging 235 with no extra base hits yet this season. 4 RBI for Hom. Of course, he doesn't get any steals or runs as a catcher, as a courtesy runner always comes in. That one going to miss low for ball 2.
And Mills here in the second at-bat being a little bit more cautious, and you got to think, Jesse, maybe that E7 air out in center field, maybe that plays a role in it.
Yeah, sometimes an error can really get in a pitcher's head sometimes, but like you said with Rabiner last inning, you got to settle in. Hom hits a bouncer over to third. He holds the runner, throws to first, and it'll be a 5-3 ground out. Solid fundamentals there from Ryan Ferguson at the hot corner, fielding the grounder, realizing how much time he had, and making sure to check on Fitzgerald to hold him before throwing to first.
Just awfully good job there by Ferguson, and that's an important play for Weymouth because as a result, Mills potentially could feel that he trusts his defense a little bit more after that.
First pitch is going to miss high and away there for ball 1. At the plate, the third baseman, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. And as you can see from his stat line down at the bottom, Easily Brookline's best hitter so far this season. As that pitch going to miss for ball 2. Bollinger, a team-high batting average of .351, tied with Fitzgerald for the team lead in on-base at .385. Leads the team in slugging at .622, tied for the team lead in homers with 1. Has the team lead in triples with 3 three-baggers so far this season as he takes ball 3 high and in. He's also got 3 steals, 5 runs scored, and a team-leading 7 RBI. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different offensive categories where he either leads or is tied for the team lead. And he's going to get a 4-pitch walk here and a free pass to first, as looked like Mills just couldn't quite get his pitches down against one of the shorter hitters.
Well, it's a really good job there by Bollinger to be quite patient in that at bat, and that's the thing with Hugh Bollinger. He's a 5-tool player, Jesse. That's what makes him such an effective hitter. He has the power. 3 triples, incredible stuff this season.
Mills still struggling with the high balls as he throws ball 1 to the shortstop, number 5, Jimmy DiPaolo. DiPaolo so far this season, batting average 182, on base 270, slugging 273. Along with Bollinger, he has 1 home run this season, as that one hits the zone for strike 1. DiPaolo also has 2 steals, a team-high 7 runs scored, and 3 RBI. So despite batting in the middle of the lineup, among the best at getting across the plate himself this season as he takes ball 2 high.
Well, DiPaolo awfully good on the base pass. You see the 2 stolen bases, and that's a key thing for Brookline. Getting on base with walks, a guy like Connor Fitzgerald, also a couple stolen bags for him, but it just is a matter of if you can get on base, and if you're on base, getting home. It's not always about the batting average.
Exactly. As we've got a meeting at the mound here, Coach Paolucci of Weymouth coming out to talk to his pitcher, who's been missing a lot of stuff high these past couple of at-bats, wants to settle him in and get him to find that strike zone.
Definitely, especially the high fastball. He's been trying to locate pretty much middle up. He's really struggled. His pitches have been fading a bit to the sides, and the Warriors have been able to take advantage, just staying disciplined.
2-1 the count to DiPaolo. And this one fouled off as he got that one much closer to the strike zone, and it'll be a 2-2 count.
Well, interestingly enough, Jesse, that pitch high and inside, a little bit high inside. Pitcher Mills having a better time locating inside than straight away.
DiPaolo lifts one out to right at the right fielder, but over his head, he misjudged it. This will go for extra bases, and the runners are off. Rounding third and heading for home is Connor Fitzgerald. Bollinger's racing in behind him. This will be a close play at the plate, but they dropped it. And DiPaolo holds at third with a 2-run triple for Brookline. Wow, what a shot from Jimmy DiPaolo. We had just talked about Hugh Bollinger's 3 three-baggers. Now DiPaolo's got his first, and aptly timed as Brookline flips the script to take the lead 2-1.
Just incredible, Jesse. Jimmy DiPaolo hits an absolute line drive, and Browning just misreads it. He steps forward too much. It gets beyond him, and there's nothing he can do about that.
Now Brookline up 2-1 as up comes the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gameau. And Gameau's been a pretty reliable contact hitter. If he can get one of his staple singles to the outfield, that could easily bring in DiPaolo. So far this season, a batting average of .306, on base not much higher at .324, so not a ton of walks, and slugging same as batting average, so no extra base hits yet. But with that batting average, you can see he's kind of been the king of singles for Brookline this season, as he's also got 1 steal, 5 runs scored, and 1 RBI.
And Jesse with
a bouncer over to third off one hop. Throw is dropped. And Gameau is going to reach on the error there, and the rally continues for Brookline.
Man, that's awfully unfortunate for Weymouth. They've had a lot of fielding trouble. The E7, the error in right field, and then that's the 3rd error already. And Mills doing a pretty good job still finding the strike zone, all things considered, trying to trust his fielders, but it's awfully tough. when things like that happen. But Thaddeus Gamau, his patented single, the thing is, at this point in the order, with guys already on in this situation especially, a single actually does a lot more than a walk because it could drive in a run.
Absolutely. At the plate now, the center fielder, number 24, Wally Lawrence, Thaddeus Gamau. Standing at first. A recent pronunciation correction. You weren't there for it. As that one going to hit for strike one. Jimmy DePaulo at third after what I scored as a triple. Right fielder might have misjudged it, but it wasn't like it popped out of his glove, so I wouldn't personally score that as an error necessarily. But either way, runners at the corners. Is that one going to hit the high corner? We talked about how generous the ump has been with the north-south part of the strike zone. Lawrence, so far this season, a slash line of 226, 273, 258, 3 steals, 6 runs scored, and 4 RBI as he slices that one foul to stay alive.
Well, Lawrence fouls that one off inside there, and Mills continues to have better command inside than straight down the middle. And maybe it's just because the Warriors hitters have been able to square them up pretty well on these down the middle pitches.
That one going to miss to the outside. And boy, just as you called it, Sam, better control on the inside. A number of pitches missing on the outside. Mills trying to round out his control and, develop his stuff in a bit of a tight spot here. As that's going to miss high, and Lawrence now facing a full count.
And Mills continues to miss high specifically. He's missed in the middle, but specifically with these high pitches. And the pitches he's missed high, it hasn't been like chase pitches. They haven't been pitches that the Warriors could potentially miss on. They've been way high.
Payoff pitch. And Lawrence hits a high chopper over to second. Slow roller picked up, thrown to first. Lawrence will be out, but he will pick up another RBI for himself as Jimmy DePaulo trots home.
And Jimmy DePaulo gets yet another run.
That's right. Adds to his team-leading mark in runs scored there. 3-1, the Brookline advantage here, as with a runner at second and 2 down, up comes the designated hitter, number 12, Harris Hodgson. Gamau standing at second, 2 down. First pitch to Hodgson is going to miss high for ball 1. Hodgson, so far this season, has had limited time at the plate, 1 for 8 with a walk, a run scored, and an RBI. Another high ball there from Mills.
That pitch from Mills, a breaking ball, interestingly enough. He's been missing a lot with a fastball upstairs, but that time opts to go to his breaking pitch and doesn't have necessarily better results. And yet another pitch upstairs.
I was about to say, same result there, as it's hitters count at 3-0 to Hodgson. 1 ball away from a free pass down to first.
And the thing is, the high fastball, it can be really a deadly weapon if you're able to locate it well in the strike zone. The problem for Mills is he hasn't been.
And he doesn't locate that one, as Hodgson will get the free trot down to first. So 2 runners on and 2 out, as up comes the second baseman, number 30, Danny Carballo. First pitch, skies it over the backstop for strike 1. Carballo, so far in his freshman season, 0 for 14 with 2 walks, a steal, and an RBI. Could be a big opportunity for his first high school hit, although he takes strike 2 to the outside corner, as Mills might be starting to find his stuff on the outside.
And these pitches, especially low and in at the bottom of the zone, have definitely been called strikes quite a bit by the umpire. He's been generous on those right and left bottom corners.
Not on that one, though, as it misses low and away for ball 1. Hodgson at first, Gamau at second. That one low as well for ball 2.
Opted to go with the low fastball, similar to what Mills was throwing in the very first at-bat, where couldn't really locate it all that well, and he still continues to miss low.
Carballo going to slice that one to stay alive at 2-2. Yeah, it does seem like more of his pitches against Carballo have been a little low, maybe compensating for the fact Carballo, another one of the relatively shorter hitters with a lower and smaller strike zone. Breaking ball curves in nicely. That might have been the best pitch we saw Mills throw all inning, as he gets out of a tough one there, in part because of some fielding mistakes by the Wildcats. At the end of one, our score, the Brookline High Warriors 3, the Weymouth High Wildcats 1. During this break between innings, I'd like to take a moment, shout out our local charity spotlight for today, the Brookline Food Pantry. The Brookline Food Pantry provides groceries to Brookline residents in need of food assistance. The pantry has been serving an average of 700 Brookline families each week out of their 3 pantry locations, while also having a number of food programs for students at the public schools of Brookline, making sure that students get fed both during the school days and that they can be sent home with the food they need over the weekend. They are always looking for more people willing to help them in their fight against hunger in our community, whether that be through monetary donations, direct food donations, or volunteers in the pantry. Food donations can be made at United Parish at 210 Harvard Street in Coolidge Corner on Wednesdays and Fridays from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monetary donations can be made online at the Food Pantry's website, brooklinefoodpantry.org. Go online or call 617-800-5339 for more information about how you can volunteer with the pantry and help feed your community. Once again, that's brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. And all that information is down in the description section down below. First pitch in the top of the second from Rabiner is going to sail high for ball 1 at the plate for Weymouth, the third baseman, number 8, Ryan Ferguson. And Ferguson going to sky one deep out to right. Kaufman going back for it, reaching up, cannot snag it. And this will be extra bases for Ferguson. He is going to stop at second with a lead-off double.
Well, despite the fact that Kaufman wasn't able to originally get to it, he was able still to pick it up relatively easily, throw it in, and prevent a triple.
Yeah, it was honestly a pretty good read from Kaufman as he went back on it pretty quick. Would have been a spectacular catch if he had made it. He did have a chance, but not a very high one, so I would score that a double rather than an E9 personally. I thought it was a very well-hit ball by Ferguson. So the leadoff double puts a runner in scoring position for Weymouth. At the plate now, the first baseman, number 11, Ryan Gildea. That pitch going to miss low for ball 1. Gildea, one of the players who did appear in last year's game against Brookline. He went 0 for 2 at the plate in that one. He also started on the mound for Weymouth in that game against Brookline last year, as that's a high ball 2. On the mound, Gildea lasted 4 innings, gave up 2 runs, 1 earned on 4 hits with 5 strikeouts, left with the lead, I think, and then the relievers kind of blew it for him. Hits a grounder over to second, fielded by Carballo, thrown to first, beats him by a step, but he does advance his teammate down to third on the 4-3 ground out.
But definitely, Jesse, might be more comfortable for Nico Rabiner because the fact that although there is a runner on third base, that 3-run cushion, or 2-run cushion, I should say, 3 runs on the board for Brookline, definitely it makes it easier for him with the run support.
Now at the plate with 1 out and a runner at third, the shortstop, number 2, Adrian Alvarez, as he fouls off strike 1 there. Alvarez last year against Brookline went 0 for 3 at the plate as he fouls off strike 1 on that last pitch. And there's that high to middle curveball from Rabiner that he loves so much, gets him strike 2 there.
And he's able to throw it really confidently as well in the strike zone. That's what's so important for him with that pitch.
Tried to fool him with the high heat that time, but Alvarez wouldn't bite. You could see the idea, though. You get one that starts high but then falls in, and then you get one that starts high and stays high. See if you can fool him. But not that time. And Alvarez able to keep up with the fastball just enough that time to foul it off and stay alive.
Alvarez, a very pesky hitter here in this at-bat. He's able to foul off these tough pitches from Rabiner. Nico Rabiner trying to tunnel the pitches, as you just said, with the curveball and the fastball.
And that one came out of his hand wrong, hung high on him, ball 2.
But the thing with Rabiner is that most pitchers throw their curveball low, Rabener's able to throw it at middle height in the strike zone. He throws it awfully effectively.
That one hangs on him a bit, though, and floats outside. Ball 3, Alvarez, like you said, Sam, a pesky hitter. He's battled his way to a full count. This one line, and that's going to go up the middle into center. Trotting home is Ferguson as Weymouth cuts into the Brookline lead.
Just another strong shot there over to left center. And this is what these Weymouth hitters do so well. Maybe they're not always going to have the most power, but these strong singles, patient hitting, and it's paid off for them.
Now batting with a runner at first, 1 out, and a 1-run ball game. It is the left fielder, number 16, Abbott. That one going to be low for ball 1.
Rabener, they're trying to go low and away, get a swing and a miss potentially on the first pitch of the at-bat.
That pitch also going to miss, ball 2. Rabener starting to have a little trouble locating his pitches. Ended up with a full count against Alvarez, and now a hitter's count at 2-0 here. This one sliced foul for strike 1, and Sam, it's interesting to see how big a lead Alvarez is taking off of first. You know, Rabener not a lefty pitcher, so he doesn't have that quick pickoff throw, but it could be an interesting battle between these two.
Oh.
Right as I say it, we got a throw back, but Alvarez reads it well and dives back safe.
And the interesting thing, before Rabener attempted that pickoff, he wasn't really paying all that much attention to Alvarez.
A whiff there from Abbott for strike 2. 2-2 the count. 1 down, runner at first. Weymouth has cut the Brookline lead in half, and a high fastball is chased by Abbott for strike 3.
What a pitch by Rabener. Up and inside. Haven't seen him target that location all that much. Switching things up a little bit with the relative struggles that he's had so far, and it pays off. Really, his stuff has been awfully good. High strikeout totals for him. It's just Weymouth have been able to battle far in these at-bats.
First pitch going to be a low, ball 1 there. We have cycled back around to the top of the Weymouth order with the right fielder, number 5, Browning. Browning got a walk his last time up, came in to score the first run of the ball game. That one was close in a number of different ways. Alvarez kind of stumbling back to the bag, but the throw a bit low. Gameau just barely able to collect it, as that one misses just a bit outside for ball 2.
And Rabener only paying attention to Alvarez as Alvarez takes a giant lead. Before he was taking a solid lead, but
runner goes, low pitch. Hom pops up, throws down to second, but the fielders weren't there. That was surprising. They didn't have someone ready to cover second on that play, as Alvarez slides in safe with the steal, and it's a 3-0 count here to Browning.
And their Daniel Carballo just came in a bit late.
And it matters not, as Browning would have moved the runner to second regardless off a 4-pitch walk. First and second now, and the catcher Felix Hom going to come out to talk to his pitcher, try and settle him down, as he's been a little shaky finding the zone the past few hitters. It'll be runners at first and second with 2 down, as up will come the designated hitter, number 32, Hickson.
Hickson coming up here, and Rabener has had some struggles, some slight struggles, but the interesting thing, his strikeout totals have still been high. When his stuff has been located well, it's been working. It's not like his stuff hasn't been there, just a matter of whether he can locate it.
First pitch to Hickson is high for ball 1.
Almost seems like the umpires shrunk his zone a little bit here in the top of the second. Hickson, a tall hitter.
Oh, and another stumble by the middle infielders. That throw is going to get away into center field, and both runners will take advantage. Eliminates the force play at third and second, as Rabener tried for a quick turnaround throw to second. Jimmy DiPaolo tripped on the infield dirt, and that allowed both runners to advance. And now another pickoff error, this time at third, and both runners are going to go. They're trying to score two, and they will. Oh, my goodness. Disaster for Brookline as two erroneous pickoff throws back-to-back bring two runners home.
Absolute disaster for the Warriors there. We saw a little bit of this in the game that we covered, the last one that we covered with the other team having similar struggles, but this time the Warriors, the second straight in a row pickoff mistake, and it really cost them, because I was about to say it's a big difference between second and third and first and second in terms of pressure, but to just score the runs, awfully demoralizing for Brookline.
All right, I think the count's either 1-2 or 2-2, but it does not matter because that's a swing and a miss for strike three to Hickson. That ends the inning, but some self-inflicted wounds from Brookline as some miscommunication on some pickoff throws allow Weymouth to not just tie things up, but flip the script and take the lead. Our score going into the bottom of the second, Weymouth 4, Brookline 3, and it'll be the 9-1-2 hitters coming up for Brookline: Kaufman, Fitzgerald, and Hom.
Well, Brookline here looking to get some runs on the board after the tough inning. Fundamentals-wise in the field, Rabiner got some strikeouts still, and that's the big thing that I've noticed. Nico Rabiner, his stuff has still been on when it's located. The problem for him, it's been that he struggled to locate it.
4 strikeouts so far for Nikolai Rabiner through the first 2 innings, but a bit tough in terms of the runs allowed category, although, you know, debatable how many of those runs earned, at least 2 of them unearned due to the pickoff throws. And that is one of the weird quirks of the earned run statistic, is that if it's a fielding or throwing error by the pitcher that assists with the run scored, it still counts as an unearned run, even though the whole idea is like, oh, earned runs are purely the pitcher's fault. But what it means is it's purely the fault of the pitcher's pitching, and not taking into account the pitcher's fielding. So, bit of an interesting quirk of stat keeping right there. Leading off for Brookline, the right fielder, number 8, Max Kaufman. Kaufman, so far this season, a batting average and slugging percentage both at 192, on base 323, a team-leading 5 stolen bases to go with 5 runs scored and 4 RBI as he chases the off-speed pitch there low for strike 1.
And here Kaufman looking to bring Brookline some light. Interesting thing for the Warriors, their last 3 games have all been decided by 1 run, although they've lost 2 of them.
And that's going to be an unassisted ground out to first. Gildea takes care of that one. And a quick 2-pitch out for Mills, who, after a shaky first inning, is hoping to rebound here as we cycle to the top of the order with the left fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald.
And the real thing for Mills, while Rabiner relies on his strikeouts, Mills is able to get these ground balls, and we saw some errors on some of these weak ground balls that he was actually able to induce. It's just a matter of how fundamentally solid the fielders will be.
That one going to miss high for ball 1. Fitzgerald drew a walk. Or no, he got to second on an E7. That's right. He reached on an error by the left fielder and then came in to score on DePaulo's triple as that one catches the outside corner for strike 2.
It's a good high curve ball there. Still just trying to pitch to contact, put it in the spot where the barrel is not.
And that time missed his spot completely as that one sails high for ball 2. Fitzgerald connects on this one. It might be playable for Ferguson, but no, it's out of play over the fence. And Fitzgerald stays alive at 2-2.
Yet again there, Mills able to get weak contact on what looked like it could have been an out, but went over the fence, all for naught. Just another long strike.
And Fitzgerald barely gets a piece of that breaking ball at the top of the zone and again stays alive.
And this is the thing about a pitcher like Mills, because he's pitching more to contact. It's much easier for the Brookline Warriors, and especially a high contact guy like Connor Fitzgerald, or at least a high balls in play kind of guy like Fitzgerald, to keep these at-bats long.
Hits a grounder up the middle, bounces off the shortstop's glove, and Fitzgerald's going to reach. That might be an E6. It was not necessarily a gimme play. I'm going to score that an E6 with a question mark, so I'll double check that for stat keeping purposes on Game Changer later tonight. Runner at first, now up, the catcher, number 13, Felix Hom. Hom grounded out to third his last time up. First pitch hits a chopper foul up that third base side for strike one.
One of the coaches there for Brookline along the third baseline almost made a really nice play, tried to outstretch his right arm, but it just got beyond him.
And my guess would be that that's head coach Brendan O'Connor, as typically the head coach will take that third base coach spot. That one crosses the plate in the zone before dropping low, as that'll be strike two.
We've seen a couple of these where the umpire has called these low curve balls maybe in the zone as strikes.
Hom fouls that one off. Brookline batters continuing to fight here to stay alive. Hom still with his back to the wall at an 0-2 count. Ooh, got hit. Caught Hom in what looked like the elbow here, and that's why you wear elbow pads. And that's also why you keep battling and fouling off those pitches. Hom stays alive, gets to first on the hit by pitch as a courtesy runner. Number 3, Eli Hoffman, will be running for him. First and second, and up comes the third baseman, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. First pitch slices it high, might be playable, might be out of play. And it is out of play there. When it goes up in the trees, it's such a mystery box. I was like throwing my arms over my laptop being like, please, anything but this.
You don't throw your hands on your head, you throw hands on your laptop.
Exactly. I know where the true value lies. Bollinger skies one deep to center. Center fielder backtracking, and he's under it. But the lead runner, Fitzgerald's going to tag and move to third on the flyout, as that will be out number 2.
Well, Hugh Bollinger got a good piece of that one, but Will Pratt able to get over to his left, get a good jump on the ball, and make the play.
It's Brookline with an interesting situation here. Runners at the corners. 2 down in a 1-run ball game. At the plate, the shortstop, number 5, Jimmy DiPaolo. Hoffman at first, definitely one to keep an eye on. First pitch going to be high for ball 1. DiPaolo had that big 2-run triple to right his last time up. Now again in a position where he can drive in some runs. Hits a chopper over to third, and it skips away from the third baseman. A run is going to come in. And Jimmy DiPaolo ties it up there with Fitzgerald coming in to score. A bit borderline on whether that's an E5 or an infield single, as it took a bit of a weird hop over at the hot corner. So I'm not sure what to score that. I'm going to check on Game Changer later tonight, but the important thing for Brookline is they have tied the ball game at 4. Runners at first and second, as up comes the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gameau, as he takes a high ball 1.
And whether that was an error or not, the fielding troubles continue here for Weymouth, and it's really cost them.
That one gonna miss to the outside for ball 2. Gameau, his last time up, reached on an E5, was left stranded, but his error reach helped set up the RBI ground out by Wally Lawrence. Skies this one high into left field. Abbott is tracking it in foul territory and makes the catch for out number 3. Well, that is going to do it for this second inning. At the end of 2, our score all knotted up. Brookline 4, Weymouth 4. And at the end of 2, we're gonna do something a little fun here, and something that I told Sam that we were going to do at the start of the broadcast, but silly Jesse forgot when we first started things off, as we were starting things off very close to the start. And that is, we're going to switch roles here. I've been your play-by-play announcer for the first 2 innings, while Sam's been the color commentator. We're going to swap here. Sam is going to take over as the lead play-by-play guy. I'll be your color commentator for the rest of what is so far a pretty exciting game. So I think this is going to be one doozy of a broadcast. Sam, the show is yours.
Well, it's definitely been a very exciting game, and it happens sometimes. There's a lot. You deal with the equipment, do all the stuff, and had a nice 2 innings here. 4-4 ball game. There's been a lot of errors on both sides. Nico Rabiner's throwing error, trying to pick off a runner at third base. Weymouth scored 2 runs, made it 4-3, and then Brookline scoring the run to make it 4-4. So it's been awfully exciting, and here the Warriors in the top of the 3rd to come up. Brookline, or excuse me, no, Weymouth is coming up, not the Brookline Warriors. As for Weymouth, it's Barr coming up for them.
Yeah, last time up, Barr got that RBI single that got the first run of the ball game.
And Barr sends it deep out to center field. Comes into right center, and it's tracked down by Max Kaufman.
Wow, I wonder if maybe the wind caught that one a little bit, maybe curved it more to the right. That one looked like it was headed straight for the gap. One of the better hit balls we've seen today. Just bad luck for Barr that it was within range of the speedy Max Kaufman.
And that was absolutely smoke. Now Kelch coming up to the plate. Max Kaufman awfully fast in right field, was able to almost track down a ball in the previous inning. Although he was unable to get to it, he prevented further damage as he limited it to a double. The 1-0 pitch, down low swing and a foul tip. What a pitch there by Nico Rabiner, that 12-6 curveball that he has.
Yeah, he's just been loving working that breaking ball, although that time he goes fastball and misses a little low.
Well, we have seen this quite a bit, Jesse. Those low fastballs, he hasn't had as good of command on. The 2-1 pitch in the strike zone, potentially. Nope, it's a little bit left.
Yeah, just a bit outside, as they say.
Just a bit. The 3-1 popped up, foul territory. Gameau just looks at it, but it's way gone and over to the batting cages. Full count here coming up for Kelch.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Rabiner has been doing very good, keeping his stuff under control, but that time he misses, right as I'm saying it, for what is just his second walk issued so far this game.
And that's awfully interesting, Jesse, because Rabiner has had some control issues, but it's mostly just been control issues within the strike zone, struggling to pinpoint his pitches, resulting in hard contact with only those 2 walks. Kelch on first, pitch is a pass ball, tips off the glove of Hum, and Kelch steals second.
Yeah, this has been an uncharacteristically rough game for Felix Hum. He's been such a reliable catcher for Brookline, and I'll tell you, I wonder if with how the strong movement on Rabiner's pitches has been fooling the batters, I wonder if it might be fooling his catcher.
Awfully interesting, and this one shot out to deep left. Is it fair? It's awfully close. It's a fair ball. Run scores. Wait a minute, no, it's foul. It's ruled foul at the last moment, but
no, it's not.
No, it is fair.
It's a ground rule double is what it looks like. I think what they're ruling is it bounced right of the foul line, then went out of play, far left of that left field fence, which officially rules it out of play, which means it's a ground rule double.
That is incredible. What a shot. Just goes off the foul line, and for a ground rule double, big shot by Pratt. First pitch up high, the next at bat after Pratt's ground rule double there. Ferguson here at the plate for Weymouth. Pitch in from Rabiner, way up high.
Yeah, Rabiner can't let himself get shaken by giving up that big hit. He's had a few big shots knocked off his pitches, but he's got to keep throwing confidence.
This one's popped up. Foul territory by Ferguson. Here in the top of the third, 1 out, 2-1 the count. Nico Rabiner trying to locate his pitches. He's had some problems getting hit hard. That's been the main issue for him. Jimmy DePaulo bouncing around on second, trying to watch the runner low pitch. Ham's able to block it.
Yeah, that's pretty typical strategy. Which middle infielder is going to cover the bag depends on what side the hitter is coming from. We got a lefty hitter with Ferguson, so the shortstop's going to cover.
Pitch from Rabiner, swung on to left center. Fielder coming over, and Wally Lawrence makes the catch.
They went for the hit and run that time. They sent Pratt to third, but he's got to retreat all the way back to second off the flyout.
Well, Brookline, a big key for them, for the Warriors this season, has been pitching. In the 1-5 stretch that they had, they gave up 11 runs per game. The last 4 games, it's been awfully better, including that Framingham game as one of the last 4, which was postponed in the middle of the game. This one is chopped down to short. DePaulo, tough play, makes the play, and Gildea grounds out to end the inning.
Yeah, a bit of a whoopsie-daisy check swing grounder there from Gildea. Not what he wanted to do, and doesn't get any kind of lucky bounce. Well fielded by DePaulo to end the inning. 1 second here, folks. We just got to check something. So we're just going to mute our mics for just 1 second. Sorry about that brief break, folks, but we're back. Back here at Campagna Field.
Here back at Campagna Field, and Mills back on the mound here in the bottom of the third inning for Weymouth. He's had some struggles with control. Similar story to Rabiner, although Rabiner's gotten a lot more strikeouts. Mills has been more of a pitch to contact kind of guy here in this game, but he trots out and he's getting ready here in this one. Interestingly enough, in the game last year, Brookline defeated Weymouth 6-5, and they had an awfully exciting game. Came back from a 4-0 first inning deficit, so that really shows that these Brookline pitchers, they can stay resilient even when things are not perfect. Here's Wally Lawrence at the plate for the Warriors, takes a curveball straight down the middle.
And you talk about the resilience of pitchers. That's exactly what you want with your number one guy that you start at the beginning of the week. Because if you're going to have 3 games in a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which a lot of the weeks, especially in the middle of the season, are, you want to have as many pitchers in your reserves as it keeps going deeper into the week.
Lawrence, ground ball over to short at second base. Tough play, and what a play is made. Impressive stuff there from the shortstop, Adrian Alvarez.
Yep, good execution that time. And Wally Lawrence feeling a little frustrated there. He knows if he had gotten a little more juice on that grounder up the middle, might have managed to sneak it through to center for a single. But well fielded at short by Alvarez to make the play at first.
Here's Harris Hodgson at the plate, pops it up opposite field, and that one goes into foul territory, comes off a tree and down.
Yeah, we get so many interesting ricochets out here at Warren Playground. All the different trees, the different, the branches go out all different directions. Makes for some interesting pinball type stuff.
Especially here in the spring. Hodgson opposite field, over in foul territory, and it goes into foul territory. Strike 2.
A lot of stuff going opposite field for Hodgson this at bat. So he's a little behind the pitches. Gotta time things up a little better, maybe swing just a fraction of a second earlier.
And that's what Mills is really trying to do here, just get weak contact, potentially a swing and miss, but keep hitters on their toes. 1-2 to Hodgson, swing and a miss, he strikes out.
Got that swing and a miss that you were talking about, Sam. He went back to the high heat, and Hodgson just could not time it up.
Well, Mills had trouble locating his fastball earlier in the game. That time he's able to execute the high heat well, and that high fastball can be so deadly if you're able to time it up. Here's Danny Carballo at the plate, the freshman, still looking for his first hit at the varsity level. 0 for 5, 0 for 15, with a couple walks fouled off inside.
And a couple of off-speed throws there from Mills to start, and it's so interesting to see how some pitchers will use their breaking ball to set up their fastball as opposed to the usual fastball to set up the breaking ball.
And that's what we've seen with a lot of these pitchers. I feel like Carballo popped up over towards first. Second baseman comes over, and he makes the catch. Barr makes it at the end of the third inning.
And that ends us at 3. Oops, I think I forgot to update the score a little bit because Weymouth did score in the top of the third, so they got 5. So it is actually, at the end of 3, a 5-4 ball game in favor of Weymouth.
It is 5-4. I was thinking for a second, when those two big hits happened for Weymouth, potentially another run came across, but again, so hard to see sometimes. And 5-4, Nico Rabiner still on the mound, trying to stay resilient here in this one. Everybody warming up, and Rabiner, although he has gotten a bunch of strikeouts, looking at some of the innings for Rabiner, no strikeouts in the top of the third, but had the 2 strikeouts in the top of the second, 2 strikeouts in the top of the first. So 4 strikeouts in 3 innings. Really solid stuff considering he hasn't had his best game.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy you can always count on to get, a certain number of strikeouts, but he's just been having a rough time with guys just squaring up his pitches and putting them in really good spots. I mean, we saw with that RBI double by Will Pratt last inning that gave Weymouth the lead. If that's just a few inches to the left, it's a foul ball and might be a completely different situation here.
100%, Jesse. Here's Adrian Alvarez at the plate. First pitch of the inning. Popped up over in foul territory, over towards us, and Kaufman looking at it. Both him and Carballo, neither of them able to come over to it. Strike 1.
Yeah, that's a long and high strike right there. I think
Awfully.
is what we can call that one. That one was sky high there. Looks like it might have been playable, but it's always so tough around this tree that kind of hovers into the field of play here at Warren Playground.
And also, as the flowers add on to the trees, it's even harder. Ground ball fielded by DePaulo. Throw to first. Nice play by DePaulo to get the first out of the inning.
Well executed there by DePaulo. Always a little bit tough when you have to backhand the ball and then make that turn, and especially when it's, from the left side of that shortstop position even longer, but he made it look easy.
Coming up next is Abbott for Weymouth after the ground ball that DePaulo was able to field to get out Alvarez on the 6-3. First pitch to Abbott, and he swings it to left. Kind of golfs that one, but foul again. And a lot of these long foul balls that are pulled with these right-handed hitters.
A 1-1 count now to Abbott after that first pitch missed high and popped out of Ham's glove.
Pitch popped up over towards first. Gameau coming over. Has to watch it move a bit in the air, but he's able to come forward to grab it. Second out of the top of the 4th.
Yeah, Gameau kind of had to take the long way around, took the scenic route to that pop-up, but gets under it well in time to make the catch.
Precisely, but over towards where we're situated, over towards right field, and this one into center field gets past DePaulo, thrown back in by Lawrence, base hit for Browning.
Yeah, that one I would personally call a single. I'll double check it on Game Changer later, but even though that one kind of glanced off DePaulo's glove there, that was not an easy play. I think you can call that one a single.
Definitely came right up the middle. Just got past DePaulo there in an awfully difficult play. But as I was saying here with Hickson at the plate, where we're situated, I really feel that as spring runner going, Hom throws it down, and DePaulo, the ball came out of his hand. Would have made the play, but it popped out of his glove.
Man, and that's tough. That was a great throw from Hom. They've had some tough times, timing up the middle infielders coming over. That time it seemed to be timed up perfectly, but no slide. If Browning had gone for a slide there, I think he's out because I think DePaulo holds on to the tag, but because he was running full speed, almost like kneed the ball out of the glove, not maliciously or anything, but still ends up working out for him.
Here, Hickson 2-1, the count to him, but over here in right field, I feel like as spring develops, as the flowers get bigger, it's even harder to tell where the ball is going, and that definitely plays a role in the zaniness of it, as the count was actually 3-1 before, not 2-1. Hickson walks.
Yeah, it can be so tough. You're trying to cover so many different aspects of the game, and you're like, wait, what's the pitch count again? Tough situation for Brookline here.
Definitely. Tough situation. Runners on first and second here with Barr at the plate. Nico Rabiner with his third walk of the game, and this one gets past Felix Hom again. Runners advance to second and third.
And that's another wild pitch for Nikolai Rabiner. And it's been a tough connection between Rabiner and Hom today. A number of pass balls, a number of wild pitches. Just been a struggle for two normally reliable players for Brookline.
Definitely, and that's been the story. But in this one, gets by Hom a little bit, but he's able to recover. But this has been really the story of the game. Brookline, although they're still in it, reliable players having difficult moments. Nico Rabiner, the throwing error that he had over to third base, a huge issue in that one. And that back in the second inning, that scored 2 runs. Felix Hom, his pass balls. That last one didn't look like a pass ball. To me, it was awfully close. You could definitely rule it one, but it's close. 3-0 pitch, Rabiner. This one gets the strike zone.
Yeah, the last one that the runners advanced on, I scored it as a wild pitch. Anything that bounces in the dirt before it gets to the catcher, I'm generally calling that a wild pitch.
That's definitely my inclination, too. And this pitch is low and away. Fastball from Rabiner. Bases loaded for Weymouth.
And again, it's, things are getting shaken up here for Rabiner. Pitches are getting away from him. He's missing the zone. He's missing his catcher. He's got to settle in. You only need one out. You can't be afraid of that big swing, even though some of them have been happening. You've got to pitch as if you're going to get it past this guy. You got to believe you're going to get it past him.
Definitely, and that's been the issue. And on that first pitch was a bit wild, low and away. Hom had to get off his knee to stretch out to grab it. Mound visit here for the Warriors.
Yeah, you definitely want to settle your guy here. I like they're sticking with him. Rabiner is a guy that has a history of getting out of big jams late in innings, so I believe he's the kind of guy that can escape from this. And like I said, you want to set the tone for the week of, our guys can pitch deep into ball games so that you have the reserves you might need later.
Another pitch outside, this one a little bit higher, about middle level from Rabiner. Bases loaded here in the top of the fourth. 2 out, 2-0 count. Weymouth trying to make a big splash here in the fourth inning, up 5-4.
Devin Kelch, his last time up, drew a walk and later came in to score. Almost got hit that time.
And Kelch way up there. Inside pitch from Rabiner, and good patient hitting from him. 3-1 hitters count, up high again.
Bases loaded walk.
Bases loaded walk. He walks in the run. 6-4 Weymouth.
Man, and, I've talked about, you want to stick with your guy. You want to set the tone. Problem is, a game this relatively close, a guy's only going to have so much breathing room to stay in it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last inning of the day for Rabiner.
Oh, 100%. Another high pitch there from him. Weymouth just trying to crawl these runs across after Kelch's bases loaded walk, and here the next hitter at the plate is Pratt. Pratt here, the 1-1 coming. The 1-1, Rabiner, low fastball, low and away, 2-1.
2-2, the count to Pratt here with 2 outs and the bases juiced.
It was 2-2, not 2-1, and 2-2 pitch, he
Doesn't
hit him.
matter.
Does not matter. Nico Rabiner hits Pratt. Another run comes home, 7-4 Weymouth.
And it looks like they're still sticking with him. Maybe the reliever not ready yet, as this is turning into a bad inning for Rabiner. 4 straight free passes allowed, 3 walks and a hit by pitch.
Well, the story in the first couple innings was Rabiner getting hit hard, with the exception of the throwing error that he had over to third base. It was the fact that he was throwing pitches right down the plate. Ferguson here at the plate for Weymouth, but even if they're right down the plate, close to right down the middle, they were getting hit hard. The walks have been the story. The free pass is the absolute killer here in the top of the 4th. 1-1 coming after the foul ball. Rabiner deals, and it's down low, not called a strike. Some of those low curveballs have been called strikes. Rabiner hasn't gone to that low curveball, though, in a while. 2-1. Bases loaded for Weymouth, with Ferguson at the plate. Two 2-1 to Ferguson. Pitch coming, Ferguson. Ground ball over to Carballo at second. Throw to first. Gummo makes the play. And that is the middle of the 4th inning here. Weymouth up 6-4 over the Brookline Warriors.
And that's why you can't be afraid to pitch to contact. You gotta, trust that the fielders behind you are going to make the plays necessary. And I know it's tough on a day like today where, like you said, Sam, a lot of big hits have been made, but you can't lose your confidence. You can't lose your stuff. And I said it before, I'd be very surprised if we see Rabiner back on the hill next inning. This has been a rough one for him.
Definitely. I'd be awfully surprised if we did as well. Just a rough start all around for him, and pretty crazy to think Mills, especially with his struggles, especially in the first inning, if he's able to go for a little bit longer, he could potentially be in line for the win after all of this.
That's right, Sam. If he finishes this 4th inning with the lead intact and Brookline never comes back and at least ties the score, then, yeah, he would get the pitching win. Here at the high school level, you need to, as a starting pitcher, go at least 4 innings in order to qualify, unless it's a shortened mercy rule game or something like that. But right now, it's certainly not looking like that. You never know. Anything can happen in the next couple innings, but right now it doesn't look like a mercy rule game.
100% here. Kaufman, Fitzgerald, and Hom coming up for the Warriors. Bottom of the order hitter with Kaufman, and then the first 2 hitters in the order with Fitzgerald and Hom.
And we saw this exact same set of hitters due up back in the 2nd inning. And Brookline was able to take advantage of some fielding mistakes in that inning from Weymouth to get 1 run across, but they were only able to get 1. And they've not been able to score since then after they went down in order in the 3rd.
Definitely, and this Weymouth team is awfully streaky in this game and also in their season. They're right now on a 2-game winning streak with a 5-4 win over Hingham High School. They're 3-1 in their last 4 games. That Hingham win their last one, but before that, they had a 4-game losing streak and then went 1-1 in the first 2 games of the season. So this is a very up and down Weymouth team. Here's Kaufman at the plate for the Warriors. First pitch from Mills, breaking ball high.
And you talk about the streakiness. Brookline's kind of had that same problem throughout this season. They had a long losing streak themselves. But then they've kind of bounced back and gone up and down since then. They haven't been as fortunate as Weymouth, as they are 1 game below them in terms of win-loss.
Kaufman popped up to left. Shallow left in the infield, a bit in foul territory, and the catch is made for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that's going to make it all its way out to left field, but definitely was on the left side of the
Left side
field.
of the field.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that terminology works,
Exactly.
doesn't it? It's
Makes me
like,
wonder who would have thought to make left field not the left side of the field. It's just left field.
I mean, I guess it kind of is. It's just, I don't know. It's usually like not applied to the infield because they'll like specify the left side of the infield as opposed to saying left field. It's weird.
Exactly, but it's the foul territory of the left side of the infield. Here at the plate is Connor Fitzgerald. He's a guy that can definitely get on base. 1-1 count. High contact hitter for the Warriors. The 1-1. Pitch coming to Fitzgerald. Breaking ball. High in the zone. Called a strike.
And it's been all taking advantage of defensive gaffes so far for Fitzgerald. What I currently have him ruled is 0 for 2, reaching on an error twice.
Fitzgerald takes the pitch a little bit inside. Called the ball there. 2-2. The Warriors, what's helped their recent relative success, including that Framingham with a 2-2 record, is the fact that their pitching has been much stronger than it was during the really difficult 1-5 stretch that they had. During the 2-2 stretch, pitching for the Warriors only gave up 3.25 runs per game. Awfully solid. Fitzgerald, hard foul against the fence.
And Fitzgerald really giving it a fight here with what I believe is a full count. He's got a good eye, and he's a gutsy pitch watcher, which is why he's leading the team in walks so far.
3-2. Fitzgerald takes up and inside. Thought he had ball 4, but it's strike 3, and Fitzgerald strikes out second out of the bottom of the 4th.
That's the tough thing. That's the drawback of being an aggressive pitch watcher is sometimes you're left striking out looking.
Felix Hom here at the plate, 2-hole hitter for the Warriors. Hom takes way high and inside, has to duck his helmet there. Hom has had some fielding struggles at the catcher position here in this game. A couple pass balls. Hasn't had his strongest game, really. Him and Rabiner, typically very serviceable guys. One of the captains, and Hom lines this one to center field. Diving attempt. It's dropped in center. He could not make it.
Yeah, good contact there from Hom. You know, I respect the effort from Will Pratt on that play. He almost made himself a spot on SportsCenter with that one, but could not get his glove around it, and that'll be a single for Felix Hom.
Exactly. Will Pratt almost making top 10 plays of the week, at the very least for their high school coverage, if there is any. Would have been an incredible catch, but a base hit for Felix Hom, and that's exactly what you have to do if you're him. Just solid hits right up the middle. Here's Hugh Bollinger at the plate, and as we talked about earlier, he leads a ton of different stats for the Warriors. All-around success for him this season. 1-0 to Bollinger with Hom on first, low pitch in the dirt, called ball 2.
And the courtesy runner at first for Hom is once again number 3, Eli Hoffman, the catcher, pretty much almost always getting a courtesy runner so that he can save his legs for
Hoffman standing up and looked like he wanted to go to second potentially, but he stays.
Yeah, they went for the pickoff play from behind the plate. Kelch, his throw came in a little low, skipped away from Gildea, but not far enough for Hoffman to really have a chance to go to second.
Bollinger at the plate, 2-1 with Hoffman, a courtesy runner on first. Pitch high in the zone, called a strike.
Man, that one was very close. Again, Bollinger, one of the shorter players with a smaller strike zone.
The 2-2 to Bollinger. Hugh Bollinger swings out of his shoes there. Swing and a miss. Inside curveball, and that's the end of the 4th inning. 6-4 Weymouth over the Brookline Warriors.
Man, went for the off speed that time, and Bollinger fooled completely. Two big deceptive strikeouts from Mills that inning, catching Fitzgerald looking at what he thought was ball 4, and then catching Bollinger swinging, like you said, out of his shoes there. Took a big old cut, and he knew he caught air. He knew he got fooled.
Definitely Mills. Maybe he doesn't overpower everybody, but definitely with those deceptive pitches, he's able to tunnel his pitches really well, as seen with that strikeout of Bollinger. But Nico Rabiner still on the mound for the Warriors.
Wow. I mean, that just speaks to the trust they have in this kid, not just in his stuff as a pitcher, not just what he brings physically, but also the heart of this kid. I mean, you leave him out there in a day that hasn't been his day, and you say, this is a close game. We want you to be one of our pitching leaders, and we want you to keep fighting when there's still a chance, even when it's not your day, so that you continue to give us a chance as a team, not just in this game, but in the games to come. They're asking a lot of him, and we'll see how he stands up to this challenge.
Definitely, and a lot of his warm-up pitches down low, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes here in this first at-bat of the 5th inning, facing Gildea to start it. Gildea here on the day. It's been interesting. Gildea had a 6-3, had a ground out earlier in the top of the 3rd inning. And then earlier.
Yeah, and I've been slipping on my scoreboard updates here. It's a 7-4 lead for Weymouth. I had it written down as 6-4 for a while. I forgot to update with the second bases loaded free pass for Weymouth last inning.
Again, I was thinking about it. That might potentially, like, wait a minute, that might be 7-4, but I'm not really sure, so.
Yeah, no, if you see me getting it wrong, man, don't hesitate to call me a dummy about it. I'm not proud.
Just wasn't exactly sure if it was wrong, though, so.
Yeah, no, I feel bad. My score bug has accidentally gaslit you twice today.
Well, here, Rabiner, 5-pitch walk. Tried to go with a high outside breaking ball, and Gildea gets on first to start the inning. Alvarez and Abbott coming up.
That might be the hook for him, and it will be. That's tough. They had, after a tough day for him, they wanted to give him one last chance, see if he could recover against the bottom part of the order facing the 7, 8, 9 hitters, see if maybe he could recapture some momentum, get his stuff back. A leadoff walk is not how you do that, and so that's going to be the end of the day for him.
Nico Rabiner, valiant effort. New pitcher coming on the mound, Felix Hom talking to him.
Looks like it's Hodgson.
Harris Hodgson, in one of the games that we did, he had some struggles. 4 games this season, no wins, 2 losses, 3 2/3 innings pitched, 4.8 2/3 innings pitched, 4.85 ERA, and a whip of 3 with 1 strikeout. So he's had some good appearances and some bad appearances. It's been up and down for him.
Yeah, definitely. The first 2 appearances he had a really rough time, kind of got blown up in that Cambridge game, and then his second game didn't even manage to get an out and left some inherited runners that scored and were credited to him. But then he had that valiant effort in the Framingham game, which ironically was the first game he was issued a loss on. But he kept the team in it as they crawled their way back into a 5-5 tie to send that one to extra innings. And then Hodgson had to come back after the game was delayed due to darkness and pick it back up, but ended up giving up the walk-off loss on that one. And then also came in a tight 1-1 ball game against Newton South last Friday. Ended up giving up what turned out to be the winning run. So has ended up with a loss each of his last 2 outings, but he's shown a lot of heart out of the bullpen this season, especially that Framingham game. If he can, show that same heart and at least keep Brookline in it, that'd be very big for his development going forward.
Alvarez here at the plate after Gildea walked with Rabiner's last at-bat. First pitch down low. Looks like a changeup from Hodgson.
Yep.
The 1-0. Gildea leading off of first, takes a pretty big lead in there for a strike. 1-1 the count.
And that's what Hodgson's got to do. You're down 3 runs. The only thing that can help your team here is to throw strikes and hope they don't square him up. Just keep hitting the zone.
1-1 pitch, swung on, foul off the tip of the bat.
Alvarez, so far today, he has gotten an RBI single and then later came in to score off those 2 pickoff throwing errors by Rabiner, and then he's grounded out to short.
1-2 pitch there in the dirt. Ball 2. Hodgson going for these chase pitches, and they've had some deception on them, although Alvarez has not swung at either of them. 2-2. Gildea on first base. Hodgson, hard shot, and it hits Hodgson in the leg. He's able to throw it over the first, but not in time. Runners on first and second, and just got to hope Harris Hodgson's okay.
Oh, that stings just looking at it, Sam. Oh, I hope he's all right. And man, that is so rough, because if that goes almost any other spot in the infield, that's going right to an infielder and turns into a ground out, or even if it's just an inch to the left or the right, maybe it misses him, goes up the middle, and it's within range for maybe DePaulo to chase it down, make a play at first. Bounces off him and bounced off him hard, so he wasn't able to make any kind of quick recovery. And you can't blame the kid for it. He just got hit in the back of the leg. You can't blame him for, not recovering from that fast enough. So I definitely score that a single for Alvarez. One of the gnarliest looking singles I've ever seen in all my years covering high school baseball, but a single nonetheless, as he's going to get some fresh warm-ups here.
That's a great way to describe it. Valiant effort there by Hodgson as he limped his way to the throw. Almost able to make it. He almost threw out the runner.
He couldn't even step into the throw at first base. He was like practically falling backwards and had to do a fadeaway throw, which was going to be much slower because all the power comes from your legs.
Exactly. After Alvarez's infield single, a wonky infield single bunt attempt, goes wild, and it's called a strike on the bunt here. Abbott at the plate. Foul ball.
Yeah, tipped off the bat. If it hadn't, the runners were going, because that one went all the way to the backstop.
The 0-1. Runners on first and second. Abbott bunting again. Hodgson looks around. First baseman Gummo in. Same with the third baseman, Hugh Bollinger.
Fouls it off again, and the bunt strategy's dead. That's 2 strikes.
Exactly. Yet another foul ball.
Yeah, if you foul off a bunt with 2 strikes, that's an automatic strikeout, so Abbott's going to have to swing away here.
The 0-2. Pitch coming from Hodgson. Lays down the bunt this time is Abbott. Hodgson steps into it. Throw over to first, and he is out just barely by a step.
Yeah, boy, you talk about a gutsy play. Went for the bunt anyway. Right after I said he couldn't, with 2 strikes, he still does it. Risks looking the fool with the foul ball strikeout and squares it up perfectly. Takes advantage of them thinking he wasn't going to bunt.
Runners on second and third. Infield in for Brookline. Swung on over towards right foul territory. Kaufman coming over. And it pops up and looks like that may have hit Joe Campagno off the bench. Off the bounce. Good to see he's okay. A weak little pop up onto him. 30-year coach with the Brookline Warriors. Pitch coming from Hodgson. Swung on to right field. This one in fair territory. Kaufman makes the catch. Both runners going. One coming home, one to third. Hom late in his reaction. Run scores 8-4 Weymouth with one still at third base.
Yeah, not much that Hom could have done there. The throw just wasn't getting there in time, and it was a bit of a wild bounce there. But textbook sac fly from Browning that time to bring in Gildea, and also move Alvarez to third as a bonus.
With Alvarez moving there, and now the next hitter for Weymouth after Browning. After he went, it's Hickson at the plate. Hickson pitching down the middle for a strike. Just right down the middle there, solid stuff from Hodgson.
Yep, they had the infield pulled in with second and third and 1 out, but now with 2 outs, they're going to pull everyone back to their normal spots as the focus is getting the batter out.
This time Hodgson goes to the high and outside fastball, missed it. tried to tag the outside high corner. 2-1. Runner on third base is Alvarez. Called ball 3. And a lot of balls from these Warriors pitchers.
Hodgson pulling his pitches a little bit over to that, over to the, I guess from our perspective, the right side of the plate by this lefty pitcher.
Pitch from Hodgson down low, ball 4, and Hickson walks.
Yeah, I know you just gave up a run, but you can't, keep issuing free passes. You can't, like I said before, your team is down. There's nothing to lose by throwing strikes and hoping for the best. That's just what you got to do.
And also when you think about it, Hodgson, that sacrifice fly here with Barr at the plate, that sacrifice fly, maybe it drove in a run, but there's 2 outs. So if that same result happens again, it gets you out of the inning.
Exactly.
Barr at the plate, 1-0. Hickson on first, Alvarez on third. Hickson looks, leads, hard ground ball, took a weird hop. What a play by Jimmy DePaulo.
No.
He almost makes it to Danny Carballo, but he cannot.
Oh, man, that is tough. That was a desperate reach from DePaulo. Good effort from him to get the glove on it, but he tried to flip it to Carballo, and Carballo wasn't really ready for it, trying to turn around, reach it with his bare hand. That wasn't going to happen, and now it's 9-4.
After Barr's potential single, here's Kelch at the plate, and Kelch pops it up. Over towards second. Carballo coming over, and he makes the catch. Has to jump for it.
Yeah, that one another tough one for Brookline. And it's like, again, I barely know what to score that play from Barr. I don't know if you score that a single, if you score it in an error. I feel like you can't really assess an error on that one because it would have been an impressive play if they pulled it off. So I would say single.
I'd say single too.
But it's one of those I'm going to check later tonight on Game Changer. But either way, the team's down now a significant amount of runs as Weymouth has now more than doubled them up, and offense has got to get something going, and the pitchers have just got to keep throwing strikes, and we've got a new pitcher.
Hickson.
Yes.
Hickson on the mound, walked in the last inning in the bottom of the 4th, and now he's on the mound for Weymouth.
So Mills will be the current pitcher on credit for the win. Rabiner, the pitcher, on credit for the loss, assuming no insane comeback from Brookline. You never know. With a sport with no clock, there's never any guarantees until it's over.
And also, when you think about it, this game, a 5-run deficit at the moment. Right now with Weymouth up 9-4, but Brookline did come back from a 4-0 deficit thereby in the first inning, but still 4 runs, 5 runs, not all that much of a difference. And one interesting thing.
But a big difference between having the whole game to do it and only having 3 innings left to do it.
Of course, but still it's baseball. There's no clock.
It's baseball.
You never know.
Exactly. A 6-run inning is not an unheard of phenomenon.
Happens quite a bit. Here on the mound is Hickson. Did not play in the game last year against the Warriors. As everybody warming up, and the inning about to begin here in the bottom of the 4th. At the plate for Brookline in this inning will be DePaulo first, Gummo then, and then Lawrence. Hickson talking with his catcher right now, and everybody getting ready.
These guys are guys that that all have the ability to get a good square on the ball. They need a spark here.
They definitely need a spark, and Jimmy DePaulo is the kind of guy to give that spark. Pitch coming to DePaulo up high, and it is a ball, and he had a home run in one of the games that you covered.
Yeah, in that game, that big win against Lincoln Sudbury last week, he had a home run to straightaway center. Had a 2-run triple earlier this very game. So we know that he has the ability to put, some real sting on that ball and make something happen. Could potentially be a spark, but right now Hickson's not giving him anything to hit.
Definitely. Hitter's count coming, though, for DePaulo. Pitch low in the zone. Fastball called, strike 2-1.
And it's always interesting to see how a relief pitcher handles things at the high school level if they're able to get their control fast enough and hit the zone.
2-1 DePaulo, and this one comes over to the tree area. Foul territory on the right side, opposite field, and fouled off.
Yeah, DePaulo got fooled on that one. You could see him stretching low and to the outside just to get his bat on that one, and tough one there.
Awfully tough. 2-2 coming from Hickson. DePaulo, ground ball over to short, fielded cleanly, throw to first. Play is made, first out of the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, that's tough. Solid contact, but not into a gap and not enough juice on it to make anything out of it. Just a routine play for Alvarez.
Thaddeus Gummo here at the plate for Brookline, and Gummo, a guy who can produce a lot of singles.
Yes, he's been a single machine so far this season, but today 0 for 2 at the plate with a reach on error and a flyout.
Gummo fouls it off against his foot and up against the fence. Strike 1.
Yeah, kind of jammed him inside. Hickson's been hitting those inside pitches to righties pretty well so far.
0-1. Pitch from Hickson. Gummo takes up high and called ball 1. You look at these teams in their records, Brookline at 3-7, Weymouth at 4-6, but Weymouth, they have been on a hot streak lately, and they had that big win in the game before this, 7-1. Ground ball over towards second. Shortstop tries to make the play. Sidearm throw. Gummo beats it out.
Yeah, that one, a tough play right up the middle. A question of whether that's an E6 or a single.
Looks like a single to me. Alvarez, that was an extremely difficult play for him.
Yeah, but it also looked makeable. That's the thing. We saw another play like this earlier with, I want to say Fitzgerald. And it's the same thing where I'm like, it looks makeable, but it also looks tough. And what do you do with that? But what I do with it is I check Game Changer later tonight.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. This is what Game Changer's for. At the plate, Wally Lawrence. Gummo taking a lead off of first. Pitch from Hickson, and it gets away. It bounces off the plate and behind the catcher. Gummo down to second.
And that's the kind of break Brookline has needed past couple of innings. Their, offense has kind of been running a little cold. They get, a bobbled grounder and now a wild pitch, put a man in scoring position.
And I must say, something feels a little bit better in this inning. Something in the air for Brookline. Lawrence at the plate. Fouls it off. Got jammed a bit there.
Lawrence, so far today, he did get an RBI ground out back in the first and then grounded out once again in the third. So 0 for 2 so far today. A base hit here could potentially bring in a run if he gets it deep enough into the outfield.
1-2 to him. Lawrence has to jump out of the way. Breaking ball inside from Hickson.
Yeah, it can help you out a little bit if it's a close one to, maybe jump back a little bit, see if the ump believes it, especially with a 2-strike count.
2-2 to Lawrence. Fouls it off. Another inside pitch from Hickson. He's loved the inside part of the plate and further here in the bottom of the fifth inning.
And good efforts from Lawrence to stay alive here. You want to challenge the reliever, give him a fight and, make him work for every out that he gets. 'Cause deeper into the ballgame, the more tense things could be, although in a 5-run ballgame, maybe not as tense.
2-2 pitch. Gummo leading off of second, has to go back. Hickson looks at him. Gummo takes a lead yet again. Inching his way towards third, and Hickson looks at second. Gummo has to go back to second base.
Yeah, Gummo, not the biggest threat to steal, but you don't want him getting a good break on any hits to the outfield.
2-2 pitch, Lawrence. That one comes off the knob of the bat, foul, 2-2.
Yeah, jammed him inside. Hickson has loved attacking the inside there, and Lawrence not only jumping back, but kind of reflexively putting his bat on it. But still stays alive.
2-2. Pesky at bat here from Wally Lawrence. 2-2 pitch coming. Lawrence takes inside corner, up and in, and he takes strike 3. Second out of the inning.
Yeah, that one was a tough one. Very close. You know, we've seen at times the ump has been more generous with the batters in those high-low calls, but more consistently, I think he's been generous with the high-low calls on the defensive side. Understandable strike call, I think, there, even if it's tough for Brookline.
That one high and inside to Lawrence. Harris Hodgson at the plate, the pitcher in the last inning for the Warriors. Gummo still leading off of second. Pitch to Hodgson. Ground ball towards short. Throw is off the bag by Alvarez. Gummo gets the third base runners on the corners for the Warriors with 2 out.
Yeah, that's one that I would call kind of a forced error. It was a slow roller from Hodgson. Shortstop was playing back so he could better cover the gaps, and as a result had to charge in for that one. Not an easy play to make on a charge in, so I would call that more of a forced error, if nothing else.
Gummo on third. Hodgson on first. Pitch coming in to Danny Carballo, the freshman. Still looking for his first hit at the high school level, the varsity level.
Well, at any level, he's a freshman. He started right at varsity.
Freshman. Here, Carballo at the plate. Pitch coming in, and Carballo sends it out to left. And
Ooh.
What a catch! Carballo's robbed of his first high school hit.
Well, I'll tell you, Abbott almost gifted him his first high school hit with an initial misread of the play, was going the wrong way, but was able to correct himself and come back to the spot he was in. You know, definitely made that a little harder on himself than he needed to be catching that ball, but he did make the catch, and ultimately that's all that matters.
He did make it, and we saw these struggles from Weymouth earlier in the game in the field. They've really shored up their fielding as this game has gone on. That's corresponded with their pitching success, because really between Hickson and their pitcher to start, it hasn't been a lot of strikeouts. Hasn't been overpowering, but they've done a really good job with Mills, the starter, and Hickson to force weak contact. Just had some errors in the early going.
Yeah, let's see how many strikeouts we've seen from the Weymouth pitchers so far. There was 1 in the first inning, none in the second, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. So just 4 strikeouts for Mills, the starter, and then 1 so far for Hickson. On the Brookline side, first 2 innings was 4 strikeouts for Rabner, then none in the third and none in the fourth. And then he got taken out in the top of the fifth. So he actually, despite getting off to a bit of a hotter start strikeout-wise, ended up with the same number of total strikeouts as Mills, both of them with 4 Ks on the day. Hodgson, the only pitcher so far today that has not gotten a K.
Harris Hodgson, he's relied on pitching to contact here at the top of the 6th inning. Weymouth on top of Brookline 9-4. They've continued to pile up their runs as the game has gone on. The Warriors have gone cold after the game was awfully close early. This one fouled off Pratt at the plate for Weymouth.
Yeah, that's what's kind of been tough. Both these teams got their offenses going early, but then the Weymouth defense able to settle in after making a lot of bad drops in the field.
Pratt, ground ball. DePaulo comes over, has to pin it to his body, and can't make the play. Infield single for Pratt.
Yeah, that one is either an infield single or an E6. That's another one I'm going to double check because it wasn't even so much that DePaulo pinned it to his body. He tried to, and he dropped it. That was another tough play as Brookline's defense has been struggling down the stretch.
Pitch coming. Called ball one. At the plate is Ferguson now. Ferguson in the game looking to make something happen as takes it for ball two. Ferguson in the top of the fourth grounded out 4-3 and then flew out with an F8 as well earlier in the top of the third inning. Did have a double earlier in the game and scored a run in the top of the second, so it's been an up and down game for him. Runner going to second, throw down, the ball gets away. Going to third base is Pratt and he's safe. Lawrence won't even make a throw.
Boy, just more and more struggles for the Brookline defense, more missed connections on throws. It's just been a really rough day for their defense as now a runner at third with nobody out and a hitter's count at 3-0.
Definitely, it's been a difficult day for the Warriors. 3-0 count here for Harris Hodgson, who's had an up and down season so far, had two difficult starts, or not starts, appearances to start the season. Two solid appearances after that, but he throws a walk here. Down and away, ball four, Ferguson reaches. And now Gildea coming up.
And now you've got to be careful because your throws haven't been going well, and this is the kind of situation where you send a guy to second and see if you can bait the opponent into throwing to second and giving a clear path for the guy at third to go home.
Gildea leads off first. Hodgson looks, throws in.
Gildea's at the plate.
Gildea's at the plate.
Ferguson leads off from first.
Ferguson leads off from first. Pitch to Gildea. Fouled off as that one he's jammed a little bit. Didn't get the barrel on it. Could hear the crack of the bat.
Yeah, the one thing I think that's preventing a potential double steal strategy for Weymouth is the fact that Hodgson is a southpaw pitcher, so he's got the potential pickoff at first. Never mind.
Runner goes, hit and run into center field, but Lawrence makes the catch. Lawrence throws down to first, double play, but a run scores.
Man, what do I even score that as? Because it almost looks like a sac fly since the runner came in, but it's a double play, and you can't get an RBI on a double play ball. And also, it's an 8-3 double play, which is a rare thing to be certain.
Awfully rare occurrence here in baseball. Popped up over towards second. Carballo makes the catch. Middle of the sixth inning now, but Weymouth tacks on yet another run. 10-4 Wildcats.
Yeah, one pitch pop out from Alvarez and a big double play ball from Brookline from Wally Lawrence out in center field, catching Weymouth on the attempted hit and run play there. The inning could still be going if not for that play, and a run probably still would have come in on the fly ball. Might have been a potentially close play at the plate, but percentages say that the run probably would have scored. So, a run does come in, but they, help shorten the inning a bit.
And interestingly enough, you got to think there may have been some strategy involved in that. You really have to think there was Weymouth just trying to get yet another run across and being okay with the risk of the potential double play. You talked about it playing the percentages. That's what they viewed as the most effective.
Well, the thing about double play is it would have to be basically exactly the kind of ball that was hit. If it's a ground ball on a hit and run, that's not as much of a double play risk. In fact, it limits the risk of a double play. If it's, just a strike, if the guy just swings and misses, then it's a strike. The catcher's probably not going to throw given the situation, so your guy just takes second. If it's a high fly ball, then that gives you time to get back to first and realize that the play's blown up. But on a line drive, that's where it can really screw you over. So that's the thing about the hit and run strategy. There is some risk, and there is a high reward to potentially high reward to it, as we've seen in some we've seen in some past games. But that time, it just the perfect storm to backfire on Weymouth. That time is we've got a pinch hitter here.
Eli Hoffman.
Yeah, coming in place of Kaufman.
Eli Hoffman this season hitting .059, 333 average. This one over towards foul territory on the left side, and it's caught.
One pitch out, and Hickson's got to like that one.
Hickson's really been able to settle in awfully well ever since coming into this game the last inning. Pitched a scoreless inning there, and now Connor Fitzgerald for the Warriors, top of the order. Here now with Fitzgerald and Hom. Pitch coming from Hickson. These Weymouth pitchers, even if they're not getting the highest strikeout totals, they're able to jam hitters, get weak contact, and it's been their bread and butter in this game. It's worked awfully effectively.
Yeah, I'm trying to look back. We talk about how they've been pitching to contact. I'm trying to see how many walks they've issued so far this game. And oh my gosh. Two. Two walks were issued in the first inning, then a hit by pitch in the second, and since then, no free passes for the Brookline offense.
Just incredible stuff from Weymouth. Pitching to contact at its finest, and you can definitely do that with more confidence having the cushion that Weymouth does as well. 1-2 to Fitzgerald. Pitch coming from Hickson. Fitzgerald check swing. Appealed down to the first base umpire. Says he goes. It's a strikeout.
Yeah, it looks like he went around to me as well. You know, granted, for a lefty hitter, you would prefer to have a third base umpire, but this ain't MLB. You know, we got two umpires, and we got to be grateful to have two umpires at this level with the limits of budgets. But tough one for Fitzgerald.
Felix Hom at the plate, fouls it off, got jammed, strike one.
Yeah, and these Weymouth pitchers, you know, we talk about pitch to contact. They're not showing as much power even on their fastball, so there's not as much power for hitters to build off of when they do make contact. You got to make all the power yourself, really.
And that's really the thing. And another thing for Brookline, because so many of these games have been close, the fact that they're trailing by this much makes it even harder for them because they're used to being at the very least in close games. High pitch there to Hom.
Yeah, they've certainly been competitive in each of their last 4 games, to be sure, as they've gone 2-2 in that stretch, as you've said. But, yeah, this one's been a tough one.
2-1. Hom takes it down low. Ball 3 now.
Yeah, Hom, the last Brookline batter to be issued a free pass as he was hit by a pitch in the second inning. Now 1 ball away from a trot down to first.
3-1 coming. Pitch from Hickson. Hom takes it down the middle for a strike.
Yeah, can't be overeager to get that free pass, though. You know, if you see if you see a pitch coming down the pipe like that, can't be afraid to attack it.
Exactly, especially in the position that Brookline is. The Warriors down by 6 here in the second to last inning. But Hom sends it out, a shot to left field, down for a base hit.
Second single of the day for Felix Hom. He's been squaring the ball up well. He's just had tough luck with getting stranded on the base paths so far today.
And a courtesy runner coming in.
That's going to be number 11, Daniel Leary, making what I think is his first appearance at all for this varsity team this year.
Pitch down low below the zone. Called ball 1 to Hugh Bollinger. 1-0. Leary leading off of first. Down low, a bit below the zone. Second straight fastball from Hickson in a similar spot.
Again, just looking for any kind of spark they can get. I know it's tough. You only got 4 outs left, but still got to keep trying, as that one not going to get away far enough for Leary to take off.
Diving down there into first. Hickson with a pickoff move. Got away for a second, but not far enough. Here the 2-0 count. 2-0. Leary leading off of first. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th tier. Warriors down 10-4 to Weymouth. Leary thought about going for a second, but then stopped. Took a big lead, 3-0.
Yeah, Bollinger, one of the few Brookline batters who's been issued a free pass so far, and he's got himself a hitter's count here.
3-0 pitch coming. Takes a strike. Inside part of the plate there.
Yeah, typical strategy there. You take the strike and see if maybe you can get a bad pitch on the next one. But if it's good, you take a swing.
3-1. This one's down low and called ball 4.
And that's exactly why you leave that 3-0 pitch alone, as you get a chance for something like that.
Pitch looked like it was just spiked there by Hickson. Was going for something low in the zone or a chase pitch, but just went beyond the plate, hit the ground, and now a runner in scoring position for the Warriors. Jimmy DiPaolo, big cut and a miss on a breaking ball, low and away. Strike 1.
Yeah, you could see him kind of looking at himself like, what did I just do on that one? He wants that one back.
100%. 0-1. Runners on first and second for Brookline. 0-1 to DiPaolo, takes a strike down the middle, fastball.
That one looked like it caught the outside corner to me. You could see the catcher kind of making a half step to his right. But well placed by Hickson regardless.
Outside part of the plate. Off a good location, DiPaolo golfs it out to left field. It gets down for a hit. Runners coming in to score. He does. And Jimmy DiPaolo's going down to second. Head first slide. He's out. But the Warriors get a run. 10-5 Weymouth.
Little over-aggressive there from DiPaolo. I can understand the excitement of the situation, but if he holds at first and you have runners at the corners with 2 down, you have the chance for a potential double steal or to give Gameau a chance to bring someone in. You know, a lot of different things you can do, but got a little overexcited by the situation, thinking they might have been a bit too concentrated on Bollinger going to third. But, he still gets the RBI. That's his 3rd RBI of the day for Jimmy DiPaolo. Or at least his 3rd. I think it's just 3 so far. And Daniel Leary scoring his first varsity career run as a courtesy runner.
Cool stuff. Here, top of the 7th inning. Always a good moment to see a player new at the varsity level get a run, something of that nature. It's just, you got to take the positives here.
Exactly.
You always have to take the positives. Brookline, though, down 10-5 against Weymouth. It's been a tough day for the Warriors. Started out close and then really got away from them. Weymouth took a 5-4 lead, and they haven't looked back since.
Yeah, it's just been an overall sloppy day defensively for both teams. I mean, I'm gonna be working overtime tonight trying to calculate how many of these runs were actually earned for the pitchers, because it's not going to be all of them. I can tell you that much.
Definitely. There's been some fielding struggles, and at the very beginning of this game, as Abbott's at the plate to start the 7th, Hodgson's still on the mound for the Warriors. But at the beginning of the game, Jesse, Weymouth was the team with most of the errors, and then they started to pile up for the Warriors. But Weymouth had a lot of trouble in the field in the first. Popped up here behind the backstop and the fence. Hits off a house and no roof damage. All is good.
Yeah, this is why you buy insurance, folks, especially if you live near a ballpark.
Hit off the bottom of the roof, little area where it goes to the wall.
Yeah, I gotta wonder how that conversation comes up if you're like, looking for a new house, or if you're the realtor trying to sell the place. Do you talk about the risk of baseballs coming at you?
Pitch coming, hard shot to left field. It's a fair ball. Goes into foul territory. Abbott's going down to second. He's safe. And a double to start the top of the 7th for Weymouth.
Boy, and that's really been the case as well. As I know I talked about the fielding mistakes and how sloppy it's been, but also it's been a good day for both teams, for batters just squaring up the ball. We've seen a lot of good contact from both teams throughout this game. Weymouth's just been doing better.
A lot of great contact to left field, hard hit balls, hitters able to turn on it and have a lot of success. Abbott leads off of second, Browning at the plate. 1-0 from Hodgson. Pitch down low in the strike zone, fastball 1-1.
Yeah, Hodgson just got to shake that one off and keep throwing strikes. Again, you're down 5. Your job is to get this inning done as fast as possible.
Ground ball over to third, fielded by Bollinger. Throw high to Gummo, makes the play. First out, runner holds at second.
Good textbook play by Bollinger, even with a bit of a fast tempo to it. And that's exactly why you want your tallest guy at first base, is for plays like that. Gummo makes it look easy with the size he has over at first.
Hickson, the pitcher. The current pitcher for Weymouth at the plate, who came in relief of the starter for the game, Mills. 1-0 coming to him. Hickson, big cut and a miss. And Jesse, that was a home run type of swing.
Yeah, but it was a nice off-speed pitch from Hodgson, just dropped there at the end. Not sure if it was a curve or a changeup, but either way, a nice throw.
The off-speed working out. Hodgson looking over at second base, and Abbott continuing to lead off second. DePaulo watching him. Big cut and a miss. Another swing and miss there by Hickson on a fastball this time. 1-2 the count.
And even that one dipped a bit. Might have been a cut fastball or something. Hodgson is working those north-south movements well on his pitches.
1-2. Pitch from Hodgson. Big swing and a miss. Hickson strikes out. Second out of the inning.
Yeah, Hodgson bouncing back well after giving up a leadoff double to the number 9 hitter, facing the top of the order, the batters that Weymouth wants to put at the plate, and Hodgson has been doing well.
Most definitely. Barr here at the plate. Second baseman. Barr takes ball 1.
I think that was ball 1. That was an interesting. I heard someone shout runner as if Abbott was taking off for third, and then everyone kind of stopped and realized, no, he's not.
1-0 pitch, and that one comes up way inside. That may have hit the knob of...
I think that's what happened.
Wait a minute. No, it did not.
Oh.
It's a hit by pitch.
Oh, that was interesting. And it looks like there's going to be a discussion about, because it's about what it hits first. If it hits the bat and then hits the body, it's a foul ball. But if it hits the body and then hits the bat, it's a hit by pitch. So that's a really close call. That's one of those where you'd bring up video replay if we were in MLB, but we don't have that technology here. You know, we've got our video, but we don't have like the advanced replay functionality to be able to send it to the umpires so they can go under the hood. We ain't got that one yet. And in fact, they do overturn it to a foul ball.
Well, that's what we thought after it came off the knob. Originally ruled a hit by pitch, changed to a foul ball.
Yeah, it looks like it was originally ruled a foul ball, then ruled a hit by pitch, then ruled a foul ball again.
Something else.
Tough call.
Exactly.
I don't envy the officials having to make a tough call like that.
100%. You have to appreciate the umpires, especially at this level. Again,
100%.
We talk about it so much. They work awfully hard. And They do a real service. Fake throw by Hom at second. 3-1 the count.
Yeah, and it's such a thankless job. You know, you get fans who might be frustrated at calls not going their way, but these guys are out here. They're doing this as a side gig for very little pay.
Exactly. Pitch down in the dirt, bounces before the plate. And despite the hit by pitch being overturned to a foul ball, Barr gets to first base anyway.
Yeah, and considering that the one strike came off of that weird foul ball, every single pitch in that 5-pitch plate appearance missed the zone for Hodgson.
Kelch at the plate, takes a pitch high for ball 1.
Got to get the control back. You're 1 out away from finishing this job and giving your offense one last chance for a miracle.
1-0 from Hodgson, low and away, going down to first though.
Missed the
and
tag.
They did not get the tag, trying to catch Barr out with a large lead.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is, they did catch him. It's just the throw teensy bit higher than you would have liked. Gameau slightly off target with his tag. Just couldn't get it fast enough.
Runners on first and second. Pitch up and inside by Hodgson. Gets a strike call this time.
Yep, got to just bring it down just a little bit, just like that. Get it into the zone.
Runners leading off both first and second. This one way high.
Was going for a breaking ball there, and it just hung on him. Didn't break.
Exactly. Almost came out a little bit more like a fastball.
Yeah, he's trying to do that same 12-6 drop that Rabiner was doing earlier in the game.
3-1. Hard ground ball over towards third base. Goes foul.
Yep, another long battle at the plate here, but I sound like a broken record. Just got to keep throwing strikes. Trust the guys behind you. Trust your stuff, and put it in the zone.
3-2. Runners on first and second. Runners both are going. High ball 4.
Yeah, full count, 2 outs. You just go because it literally doesn't matter. It's not even really a steal attempt because the play is going to be, either a live ball or it's going to be the end of the inning or a walk, no matter what. But Hodgson got to get his control back.
There's no reason not to. High pitch there from Hodgson after he walks Kelch. Harris Hodgson now going up against the next hitter.
Will Pratt
Here at the plate. Bases loaded for Pratt. Big cut and a miss, fastball there, or may have been a bit of an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, that's the thing. Hodgson doesn't throw the hardest stuff, so it's like every throw, looks like it has a bit of a cut on it. It looks like he has maybe a cut fastball to work in between his fastball and his breaking ball.
That's what it looked like, a cut fastball from Hodgson. Dials it up a little bit more with the velocity. Strike 2.
Yeah, good attacking from Hodgson here.
1-2 coming. Looking to get out of the inning, and he does. Swing and a miss. Pratt strikes out to end the top of the 7th.
Good pitching from Hodgson there to rebound. You give up back-to-back walks. You face one of the more powerful hitters in this Weymouth order in Will Pratt. And you just trust your stuff and you get it in there to finish up the inning. But that said, this is a big mountain to climb for Brookline if they want to have a chance here, down by 5.
Definitely a major mountain. Thaddeus Gummo coming up to the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning. It will be Gummo, then Lawrence to start it. Brookline looking for a miracle. As you said it perfectly. Down 5, 10-5 Weymouth. After the Wildcats took a 5-4 lead early, they have not looked back, and really they just pulled away, Jesse.
Yeah. Now, Sam, I got to ask you, between the sports that have a clock and, you can get to a point in a more of a blowout game where it's over and the last few minutes are just kind of a formality versus this game where it almost feels like that, but because there's no clock, there's no guaranteed chance. Which do you prefer personally?
That's a good question.
I do feel like there's pros and cons to both. I feel like working with a clock can add a different layer of strategy to it that can sometimes be frustrating to watch, especially if your team is the one losing, but adds a little bit of different, you got to, bake some math into the equation of, okay, how many possessions do we need? How much time do we need for each possession to try and come back, stuff like that. But with this, I like that there's never a point where you're just going to run out the clock.
Gummo swung on to left field. It gets down for a hit. Hard line drive to left, just inside of the foul line there. And the singles machine continues.
That's been Gamo's play. A line drive that's, not slow, not fast. It's a medium line drive.
Exactly.
We love our medium stuff here on these broadcasts.
We talked about medium quite a bit in our last broadcast, the difference between medium and mid.
Yes, we had a lot of fun with that one.
We had a lot of fun again, just to refresh if you missed that one. After some more discussion, we decided two things. One is that medium is medium and mid is middling. The other one is that mid has a bit more of a negative connotation.
Yes.
Generally. Medium is just medium.
Yeah, I think mid is mostly short for mediocre, I feel like.
Exactly. It's like a stand-in. It is a stand-in for mediocre.
Yeah.
Gummo leading off of first. Takes a pretty big lead pitch inside, ball 3.
Yeah, because if you think about it, middling is also kind of a stand-in for mediocre because it's that same thing of like, oh, you're average, but saying it in a negative light.
3-0 pitch from Hickson. He's bunting. Wally Lawrence is bunting.
No, he's trying to trick the guy into missing. He was never going to lay that one down. Exactly. He's just trying to be a trickster.
Just a bit of a unique strategy there from Lawrence. Takes a pitch up and inside. And
that's a full count, but he's needing to take a walk. He had a close strikeout call last one. His frustration might be starting to build. He can't let the calls get the best of him.
3-2. Lawrence takes up and inside, breaking ball, and this time he walks. Had the frustrating end to his last at-bat where he struck out looking on a 3-2 count. This time he gets the walk, and quietly, runners on first and second. No outs for the Warriors with Harris Hodgson at the plate.
Yeah, no, there's a chance to get things going, but you do have the bottom of your order coming up, so some guys are going to have to step up.
Hodgson takes the strike right down the middle. Bit low there from Hickson.
Yeah, because with Hodgson, Carballo, and we'll see if they stick with Hoffman or if they go back to Kaufman. But the next two batters have just one hit between them so far this season.
Definitely, but back to what we were talking about with clock or no clock, I personally feel that if I have a stake in the game, if there's a team I'm rooting for, I would rather have no clock. But if I'm just watching for the sake of watching, I would rather have a clock.
That's a good answer. I like that.
Hodgson takes the strike down the middle, fastball. Strike 3 called. Or no, wait a minute.
Oh.
It was not.
Oh, guess I can't count.
It was a very loud strike call by the umpire. Reminiscent of his strike 3 calls, but it was not. And Hodgson goes out and gets this one. Throw to second, throw to first. Double play.
Now Brookline's kind of wishing that was strike 3. That's a tough one. And boy, Wally Lawrence, ever the trickster. Did you see him putting his hands up for a brief second, seeing if he could just cause some hesitation on the throw to first? It didn't work, and I have to wonder if it had worked, if Weymouth might have tried to complain for a call there.
Runner on third base. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Fly from Carballo to center field. Catch is made, and that ends it. Weymouth wins it 10-5 over the Warriors.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up from the double play ball. A one-pitch swing. Decent contact from Carballo, but too much under it, and right out of fielder. Can of corn to end the ball game. A tough one for Brookline, to be sure, especially defensively. You know, a tough day really for both pitchers at different points. They had some troubles with their control and letting up free passes. You know, the fielders had some trouble connecting at different points, especially on some of the throws, especially on the pickoff throws. We saw some connection issues. Certainly that a lot that Brookline can work on between now and their next game defensively. Offensively, you know, a medium game, I would say, a more positive connotation medium game with 5 runs. You know, a little above average for them scoring wise, but just not enough on a tough defensive day like today. Brookline's record falls to 3-8 on the season. Brookline has just 2 more losses to give before they can no longer reach a 500 record. Weymouth, meanwhile, improves to 5-6 on the year. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Remember, if you enjoyed this broadcast, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If there's anything you'd like to say after the live stream is concluded, you can say it in the comment section down below. You can also go down below to the description section of this video, where you can find the link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Food Pantry. You can also find some links related to me that you can also see in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com, my email, as well as the URLs for my Instagram and Facebook accounts. I'll be posting highlights from today's game later tonight on my YouTube channel, as well as on my Instagram and Facebook, so be sure to be on the lookout for those. Weymouth 10, Brookline 5 from Joe Campagna Field at Warren Playground in Brookline, Massachusetts. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.